something's wrong with my wig. You sent me a faulty wig. But no ma'am. It is not faulty. It is Permatease. You might come across some brands that talk about percentages when it comes to the dentistry, the density of a wig. We're looking lovely here. Sometimes we just need a little bit of extra love to get things looking fancy. Hi everybody, welcome back to the Chiquel YouTube channel. My name is Amanda and today I'm going to give you a quick crash course on a lot of different wig lingo that you might see pop up when you are trying to shop for wigs. You might be looking at all of these words being like, what on earth does that mean? So I'm here to talk about that. Before I jump into it though, I'm going to remind you to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel where you can learn even more about alternative hair. All right, I've said this before, I will say it again, wigs are tricky, especially when you first start getting into the wig world. It's insanely overwhelming. There are so many different choices out there. There are so many different price ranges. There are so many different types of caps. There's different types of hair. There's different brands. There's just a lot going on out there when it comes to wigs that our brain just goes and I think, as most of us know, when we feel overwhelmed with information, it's like we freeze and we stop what we're doing and we just like can't physically progress in our journey. We need someone to spoon feed us the information so we know what exactly is going on. So I know I've done a lot of videos that sort of break down different components of wigs and different aspects, but in this video, I'm gonna kind of consolidate it all a little bit and talk as briefly yet as informatively. Can those two coincide? As briefly and as informatively as I can about all of the different parts of a wig and what words you might come across while you're searching, especially if you're searching on the Chiquel site. So I'm not going to go like fully into depth on absolutely everything, but I'm going to give you as much information as I can that will sort of get you by so you at least know what is going on. Now, before I continue, I will let you know that I'm wearing the wig called Caliente hand tied. It is by Belle Tress and this is in the color Ginger. Ginger is actually a discontinued color by Belle Tress from their cafe collection. However, if you are looking for any of Belle Tress's discontinued colors, discontinued wigs, make sure you come and join my Facebook support group called Chiquel's Neighborhood. In Chiquel's Neighborhood, you are going to be surrounded by thousands of amazing women who are on this same alternative hair journey as you or on a hair loss journey. And they are going to be so inspiring, so informative. They are going to help educate you through this journey. And it truly is a group where you just don't feel alone anymore, which is really what we all need as we're going through this. And on top of all the education and inspiration and friendship you will receive in this group, I also host sales in that group exclusive to Chiquel's Neighborhood members, where you can purchase discontinued items such as Belle Tress for a discounted price. You can get them for 60% off or even up to 65% off. So if you are looking for a good deal on a lot of really great items, make sure you come and check out Chiquel's Neighborhood. We would love to have you join. But okay, let's get started on the lingo here. So we're gonna start off with the term open wefted. So you might hear the term open wefted when they are referring to the type of cap that it has. So this right here is an open wefted cap. That means that it's open, so you can stick your fingers through, of course. Wefted means that all of the fibers or all of the hair are sewn on by a machine into rows. So these are called wefts. So they are sewn on by a machine into rows where it creates this open cap, which is breathable, stretchy, ventilated. Now, the great thing about open wefted caps is that they're going to be a little bit less expensive because they are machine made, and they're going to be less expensive than the other type of cap, which would be a hand-tied cap. So right here is a hand-tied cap. So that means that it is this sort of softer material where each fiber or each hair is hand sewn by a human onto this material. Now, these are going to be much more expensive than an open wefted cap. However, you are trading that in for it to be really comfortable, really luxurious feeling, and it's going to allow the hair to move in a bit more of a natural way. So although hand-tied caps are more expensive, you are paying for that quality and for that more natural appearance and natural movement and better feel. Now, something that's sort of in between an open wefted cap and a hand-tied cap might be a closed wefted cap. So it kind of looks like it's hand tied because it has that just solid material here. But if you look closely, you can see that all of the hair is sewn on into the rows here. So this is still a machine made cap, but it is sewn on into wefts, it's sewn on into rows. It's nice and stretchy like open wefted caps are, but these are not going to be as breathable and ventilated, of course, as its little friend here, open weft. All right, now let's talk about the top of a cap. So on the top of a cap, so like the top of your head, you could see several different things. This one is called a monofilament top. A monofilament top is going to give you the most natural and realistic look on the top of your head because all of the fibers or all of the hair on a monofilament top are going to be hand tied onto this sort of lace-like material. It's kind of like a plasticky kind of a lace material, really. Now, when it's all hand tied on a full monofilament top, that allows you to change the part wherever you want. So it looks like it's growing from your head. So you can change the part anywhere that monofilament exists. And not only can you move the part around, it just allows you to move the hair a lot more easily on top, which gives you sort of more styling options too. Alternatively to a full monofilament top, you could also see something like a monofilament part. So it's that same material. However, instead of the whole top here, you're just gonna see it in this 1-inch section where you can play around with the part. In comparison, here is that full monofilament top where you have all of the space up here to play with parting and giving you that natural illusion of scalp. This one is just a monofilament part. So you only have that small section within here to play with your part. A monofilament part might be ideal for you if you are someone who just doesn't really play around with your part at all. Maybe you are just a left parted person, because honestly, if you find a wig that has a monofilament part, they typically are either a left part the majority of the time. Sometimes they're a center part, but if you are a right part person, you are going to have a very hard time finding a wig that has a right monofilament part. For some reason, it's like all of the wig manufacturers all over the world got together, had this meeting, and they were like, haha, we are only going to make left parted wigs. We're gonna ignore all of our friends who are right parts, and we're only gonna make left parts. It's so bizarre. I don't know who decided that left parts were the way to go. Anyways, a great thing about having a left part or a center part is that it's going to be less expensive than your full monofilament top that I was just showing you, because you have less area, less space where all that hand-tied business is happening. But it still gives you the illusion of scalp, and it gives you the opportunity to play around with the parting within that 1-inch sort of section. Something else you might see in terms of monofilament might be something called a monofilament crown. So on this one, we have at the crown of our head where all this monofilament is. Now what that does is that, you know how on the back of people's heads sometimes, or on the crown I guess, sometimes you have a swirl or just like a space where your hair, like your natural bio hair, just kind of like ploop, just like spiders out of. That's sort of what the crown does, or that monofilament crown does. Kind of gives you that illusion there. Let me put this one on so I can sort of show you what it looks like on. The wig I just had on that I just took off of my head, that was called Well Played by Raquel Welch, and that was in the color shaded Cappuccino. Sorry, I'm gonna try to keep up with myself as I say all of these things. I'll try to tell you what these wigs are. This one is called Relax by Wille in the color Metallic Blonde Rooted. This is one of my favorite shorter cuts. It's so funky, so cute. Okay, let me show you this monofilament crown if I can bend over. It, I mean, sometimes it's not necessarily necessary. I don't know. It's a nice little feature to have, but I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I'd could live without it. I think it's fine without it, but it's there to give a little bit of an extra illusion of like bloop, hair growth coming from right there. Okay, now if you don't have any of those monofilament features on top, you would come across just a basic Permatease top. So a Permatease top, or what we would call sort of a basic cap in general, is going to look like this. This is all machine sewn, whereas the monofilament features on caps, that is all hand tied. So the basic cap is just gonna look something like this. This is where you have Permatease, and I'll get to Permatease in a minute. But this is all machine sewn, it's not hand tied. This is going to be your least expensive and your least natural, because you are not going to get any illusion of scalp on these basic Permatease tops here. So let me show you what I mean. This one that I am now putting on is called Sky, and this is in the color Creamy Toffee Rooted. Woo! We're looking lovely here. Sometimes we just need a little bit of extra love to get things looking fancy. Okay, so Permatease top, basic cap. There's a ghost in my room. Something just fell. Oh my gosh, I don't know if you heard that. Okay, moving along. Hopefully all is well in there. I'll check it out later. So Permatease top is this right here. A lot of the time, people who don't know a lot about wigs, they get these wigs and then they come back at us and they're like, "Ah, my wig is faulty. Something's wrong with my wig. You sent me a faulty wig." But no, ma'am. It is not faulty. It is Permatease. Permatease is a short-haired crimping effect at the root of your wig that provides volume, and it also disguises wefting, and it's just not it's not as natural looking. I'm not gonna go too much into Permatease because I have already made a couple videos on what Permatease is and about the pros and cons of Permatease. So if you want even more information on Permatease, you can get a whole bunch of that in my 2 videos where you can go and watch. But essentially, Permatease, or a basic cap with a Permatease top here, is going to be your least expensive and your least natural. And it kind of looks like your hair has been just you know, a little bit fried. All right, now that we've talked about the cap, now that we've talked about the top of our wigs, we're gonna talk about the fronts of our wigs. So I'll start off with the one I'm wearing right now. This is just a hard front. There is nothing special about this one. It is just all machine sewn on. This clearly just isn't cutting it. You would not wanna pull your hair off of your face if you have a hard front that looks like this. There's all this Permatease up here. It's just not looking great. But that's why this one has bangs, because, you know, the bangs are there and you're gonna hide that hard front, and it really doesn't make a difference, because overall, look how cute this wig is, right? Like, even though this wig is going to be less expensive and your least natural, at the end of the day, it's still kind of cute, right? Anyways, so this is just your basic hard front, your basic cap, Permatease top, nothing really fancy, no bells and whistles, but that's what you're gonna get. If you want something to look more natural at your hairline, giving you the ability to pull it off of your face, then you, I have like 20 wigs behind me right now. Excuse me while I switch. You are going to need something that has a lace front. So now I'm putting on a wig called Madison by Renau in the color 12FS12 Malibu Blonde. A lace front. I should mention though, I have straightened this completely, so it's like stick straight. Madison does come with a little bit more structure to it. However, I have taken the structure out of it. Okay, Madison has a lace front. So that, see already, like you can pull this off your face and it gives you that illusion of hair growth from your hairline. You can pull it right back and people are none the wiser because it looks like it's growing from your head. Of course, if you get up close, here I am nice and close, you can see the knotting. And I will show you that the darker the knots are, or the darker the fiber is, or the darker the hair is, you are going to see the knots even more as it gets darker. Now you can see on this one, the knots aren't like super dark, but they're also not super light and blonde. So they're just, you know, average looking knots. But the lace front overall, and this one is pretty well done. It's not really dense. It easily allows you to pull back and off your face. However, let me put back on, oh my God, crazy. What was this? Oh, Caliente hand tied, because this is in the color ginger, and you'll see how the darker the knots are, or the darker the fiber is, or the darker the hair is, the easier you'll be able to see the knots, even if they are really small. Like Belle Tress usually does a really great job of their lace fronts, but no matter what, you're gonna kind of see the knots if it's darker hair. So that's just something you have to be more comfortable with. But overall, a lace front is what you want if you want that ability to pull it off your face, the illusion of growth right from your hairline, and just a more natural appearance overall. However, I do know that there are some people out there who just hate the look of a lace front. They feel like you might be able to see the actual lace on your skin, or they just don't want to see any knots at all. And if that's the case, then you might be someone who is better off opting for a wig that has bangs so that you don't have to worry about your hairline at all. I mean, you know, this doesn't look good, but you know what I mean. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we've talked about the caps, we've talked about the top, we've talked about the fronts. Now I'm just gonna talk about like random words you might come across, such as ear tabs. I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory in the name ear tabs. Typically, you're gonna come across a few different types of ear tabs. You're gonna come across velvet ear tabs, which in my opinion are the comfiest type of ear tabs. All of the ear tabs are going to have a metal stay in them that allows it, can bend it, but it helps allow you to sort of mold it towards your face a little bit, keep your ear tabs down. So you're gonna have either velvet ear tabs, you might even have silicone ear tabs. Silicone ear tabs are great for added security, just to help, you know, grip to your skin a little bit better. They're good for adding adhesive onto. I find silicone ear tabs are extra great for someone like me who doesn't have hair. It just, you know, grips a little easier. So you could have velvet ear tabs, silicone ear tabs, or you could just have like a basic ear tab that doesn't have velvet, it doesn't have silicone. It's just like this rose lace, and it's kind of rough. It's not that comfortable. But again, you're gonna find an ear tab like this on usually the basic caps that are going to be your least expensive ones, and that'll help cut costs even more. And with ear tabs, they are typically what you would grab to adjust your cap. So they help you adjust your cap instead of like yanking at the lace or yanking at the hair on the top. The ear tabs is where you will grab to help adjust everything. Okay, another word you might encounter is the word nape. Nape is basically the bottom back of the wig here. So here is a nape. And this is a velvet covered nape, which is going to be, again, more comfortable. And this also is an extended nape, which means that it's, you know, it's almost an inch thick here. And I find that the extended napes are going to be a little bit more comfortable back at your nape area. They're just a little bit more comfortable in my opinion. If you don't have an extended nape, you're just gonna have a nape where it's not extended, where it's just like half an inch. So this would be the difference in sort of what a normal nape would look like and then an extended nape. And like I said, I just find the extended napes a little bit more comfortable, but overall, you don't notice a huge difference when you're wearing them. All right, now alternatively to those napes, you also might find one that has silicone on it. And again, that's just really great for added grip and security. If you are someone who has wigs that ride up a lot, maybe the back of your head is just a little bit more flat, so wigs just, you know, want to go up. A silicone nape might be really helpful for you because it can grip to your head a little bit better. It's really easy to add adhesive here if you want to. So it will just help a little bit more with security. And then if your nape isn't velvet or it isn't silicone, you might just have a typical rose lace nape. These ones, honestly, they're not that comfortable. I mean, it's not that they're uncomfortable, it's just that they're not as comfortable as if it were a velvet one or a silicone one. Now, another word you might come across is adjusters. So at the nape of all our wigs, you will find there is some kind of adjuster to help you loosen or tighten the circumference of your wig. So often you will find that there is Velcro. You just undo the Velcro, tighten it, loosen it as you please. You'll also find that there is pull adjusters, kind of like a bra strap. So you can just pull it and that will tighten it. And another type of adjuster you might find at the nape is going to be like a hook. So it can hook onto these little notches to help you loosen or tighten your wig. All right, I feel like I've been doing a talking marathon. I'm just like going from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next. I think I only have one more word that I just want to address, and then we're gonna, call it a day. The last word I have for you is density. So when you see the word density, when it refers to a wig, that's talking about how much hair is actually on the wig. If you are looking at a high density wig, it's going to be a wig that has a lot of hair. If you are looking at a low density wig, it's going to be a wig that doesn't have a ton of hair. Now, often when we talk about densities and wigs, you might come across some brands that talk about percentages when it comes to the dentistry. The density of a wig, like 130% density. However, the brands that we sell at Chiquel do not reference percentages at all. We just talk about whether they're a low medium. I cannot talk anymore. That's it, I'm done. I've said too much. My brain does not function. Words are not coming out of my mouth properly anymore. On the Chiquel site, with the brands that we sell, we would only use the words low density, medium density, or high density. We don't use percentages. Now, if you can think of any other words that maybe I have missed, then drop them below. Or if you are like, I came across this word, what on earth does that mean? Put it below. And if this video was helpful for you, then let me know. I always love knowing whether or not the information I am giving is helpful, or if it's just like, meh, we know this already, Amanda, why are you telling us this? Because I do know that there is a lot of information out there. I don't want to sound redundant or anything, but I also want to make sure I'm giving you guys as much information as I can to make your wig shopping journey experience just as easy as it can. With all of this being said, I'm gonna stop this video. I'm gonna let you enjoy your day. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, I will see you next time. Bye, everybody.